together here in this chamber, Lord God, to carry out the vision of county government. We thank you for those who are in attendance. And we just thank you, Lord God, that your ear is not too heavy that you can't hear us, nor is your arm too short that you cannot reach us. We thank you, Lord God, for your son Jesus, who died on the cross so that we might have life and we may have it more abundantly. So be with us this day, we pray. In Jesus' name, amen.
Good morning.
Excuse me, Florence, Commissioner Harris is on his way. He had to go back and get his iPad, so he'll be here in a second. So he said to go ahead, though.
During the information session, we'll hear from Sheriff Derrick Cunningham, District Attorney Daryl Bailey, Personnel Director Carmen Douglas, President Cheryl Johnson with Leadership Montgomery, and Attorney Terry Reynolds with Levitate Legal. In the formal session, the commission will consider these items. Amendment number 1 to a contract with Outdoor Obsessions to add locations for Parks and Recreation. Consider a professional services agreement with Heritage Health Solutions for inmate off-site healthcare billing management services. Consider inmate excess medical policy renewal. Consider a memorandum of understanding with the Alabama Department of Human Resources for the Montgomery DHR building. Consider a memorandum of understanding between the Montgomery County Judge of Probate and the City of Montgomery for the administration of the upcoming 2023 City of Montgomery municipal elections. Consider funding of economic development projects. Consider miscellaneous appropriations to agencies. Are there any additions? Consider miscellaneous appropriations to education. Consider miscellaneous appropriations from designated revenue.
Yeah, okay, go ahead, Commissioner.
Yes, Florence. I'm trying to find. South Hull District Association, 1,500. And the Brookview Neighborhood Association,
I'm sorry, what?
Brookview, Neighborhood Association, 1,500. This is designated resident, right? Okay.
We do have a number of ones for the joint that I wanted to address today and give everybody the opportunity to make a decision on them. The Montgomery YMCA Rising Achievers Program. This is also another name is Achievers. I think we've been supporting this group through the YMCA. Natasha Foster is the director and leader of that. Last year we gave $5,000 from the joint, and I would like to see us do that again this year. Does anybody have an issue to doing that through the joint?
I don't have an issue.
It's a citywide program for the YMCA. I hate Commissioner Harris is here, but we may change these when he gets back, but we'll put something out there. The second one is Easter Seals. They're requesting $5,000 for the vocational rehabilitation programs. This is one that I have supported solely by myself in the past. I'll be glad to do it again. It's a citywide, countywide program for Easter Seals. It's their major fundraiser. But if anybody wants to do that or do it through the joint, I'm open to doing that too. So any comments on that one? Florence, I'll do it again for $5,000 through my donated revenue. The other one, or two more that I have on here, unless you have something else. Two more, the Sheriff's, Montgomery County Sheriff's Office Foundation. Throughout the year, the Sheriff has provided many different programs, from fishing rodeos to Easter egg hunts to doing different things. I've asked him to consider helping us with the Sun Belt Conference when they come to town this year for the baseball. Y'all familiar with what happened during the Camellia Bowl and the negative publicity we got from one of the schools in the Sun Belt. They will be back for the baseball, so.
Georgia Southern.
Georgia Southern. So I've asked Sheriff Cunningham if he would consider maybe trying to help us provide a little hospitality for them, so when they come in May for the baseball, they leave Montgomery with a new attitude about Montgomery and how much we appreciate them having the Sun Belt baseball and all the other Sun Belt tournaments here in Montgomery. So the sheriff's request, which I approve of, is $50,000 from the joint. Does anybody have an issue with that?
No.
So we'll do 50 from the joint, unless Commissioner Harris has some concern about it. Let's do 50 now. And then the last one's,
That made the sheriff smile.
well,
Now he's laughing.
yeah, but, I mean, he's not gonna make any money based off everything he's doing. It's gonna cost him that much to do it. And he does so many other things too that he's not listed on that. Samaritan Counseling Center requesting $20,000. We did $20,000 last year. We did $10,000 from the joint and $2,000 from each commissioner. Everybody should have got a letter from the Samaritan Counseling Center. If not, I'll be glad to get that for you. It's actually in the package today that you have. I think we're all familiar with the services they provide with the mental health and here in Montgomery County. Does anybody have an issue with us doing 20 from the joint, or your preference is to do 10 from the joint and 2,000 from each individual commissioner, or something different?
Did anybody visit with them?
I
know
think
we-
that's the one Dan said he was gonna go visit and then report back to us on. You wanna, let's wait to see what he has to say on that when he gets
Yeah,
here.
we can, if Florence can, we just, during the formal session, we'll go over each one of these again in the formal session, just to make sure Commissioner Harris is on board with each one, so. And then the last one here was that the KCS Ministries, have they been approved and all their funding legalized, I guess, and?
They have submitted their paperwork. The Blue Star Aviation is not a separate entity. An appropriation would go to KCS Ministries.
Okay. If y'all recall, that's the one with the aviation training for the students and all. I think we all agreed
Yeah.
jointly to give 20,000, so I think they now have a avenue for that money. So we're good with doing that today through the joint? Okay.
Yes.
Florence, that will go through the joint. Has anybody got anything else?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
the
sir.
Rosa Parks Museum, they normally have the Juneteenth celebration each year, and I believe they asking for 5,000 to help with that.
Is that through Troy University?
That is through Troy University, and we did give them 5,000 last year as well, so I would respectfully request that we consider giving them 5,000.
I thought they were asking for a little more than 5, but.
Well, it could very well be.
They don't ever ask for much. It's
Okay.
just
They
a
don't.
day
Yeah,
event.
yeah.
It's not a big
Well,
cost.
I agree, let's give them.
Did we do that through the joint last time? I don't
Yeah,
think
we
so.
did, we did,
Was it
yes.
joint?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
I don't have an issue adding that one to them.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Florence, I think that's all appropriations.
Next, consider a bid award to American Ultraviolet Company and Max Assure for mobile UVC disinfection units. Consider a bid award to Acme Supply Company to provide inmate uniforms. Consider a budget change request for the engineering department. Consider position fill request for the engineering department. Consider a position fill request for the sheriff's office. Consider a position fill request for support services. Consider travel training requests for the county commission, the sheriff's office, and tax and audit. That's all our items. First, we will hear from Sheriff Cunningham.
Don't say something, lose your money now. So be-
You already proved I was jumping up and
We ain't
down.
voted on it yet, though, so yeah.
Ah, dog. All right. Hey, well, good morning, everybody. Good. I know I ain't speak to everybody, but y'all know I'm gonna speak when I get here. Okay. Florence, I'm ready.
Well, good. You wanted to consider a pay grade reclassification for the detention facility director from the administrative pay plan to the corrections pay plan, and a pay grade reclassification for the juvenile detention compliance officer from the corrections pay plan to the administrative pay plan.
That's correct. You know, we had pay raise in the jail and the youth facility, and these are the recommendations that came back by personnel, and I agree with them, and so I'm just asking you all to make these recommendations, approve them.
Any questions?
So what is the current salary for the director of the youth facility under the current pay plan?
I don't have the pay plan. I think,
I don't see it.
is it on there?
I don't see it. So does that put that individual at a high salary going to?
Well, see, what we did is that on this pay raise that we gave them, I know the salary will go up, but we're moving everybody as far as in the jail back to the public safety pay scale. She was in an administrative pay scale, so we're moving them to the public safety pay scale. And the one at the youth facility, which was a compliance officer, and we're moving that person to an administrative pay scale.
And so moving that person to administrative pay scale, does that help the salary?
Yeah, it will.
Okay. I was just a little confused about
Oh,
it.
it will, yes, sir.
You're just trying to align them in with the.
So
salary.
everybody, yes, sir.
Okay. Any other questions? That'll be next agenda.
No, I think we had that on waive rules, because we've already implemented the pay scale,
That's right.
the pay plan, and everybody's already, we had to wait on this to take place for you all to meet.
Any objection to waiving rules?
I don't have an objection.
All right,
All right,
next,
yeah, the other one, oh,
auto
Go ahead.
servicer.
yeah, the auto servicer. That's a mechanic that we're hiring to go out at an automotive shop. We've been trying to fill this position for the past 10 to 12 months. And as you can see, we ain't been able to get nobody, and we found this guy here from Stivers Ford.
Is this a different one than what you had before?
Yeah, you know, last one, he didn't want to come for that salary. And so it's crucial that, I mean, we just can't find anybody. I didn't know that mechanics made the money they make, but I see the city guy up there, so I ain't gonna talk too much because he'll be trying to steal the person I'm getting now. But what what we're trying to do, he's still gonna come in with almost a $25,000 pay cut, but he's willing to come because of the retirement and some of the benefits that we have to offer. So I'm just asking you all to please, pretty please, with sugar on top, let's go ahead and get that approved so we can get this guy hired.
That's for the ladies, right? The sugar on top?
Yeah, with sugar on top.
Is there any objection to waiving rules? All right,
Thank you.
you got future agenda item on there.
Which one is that?
A vehicle to
Oh, yeah.
impact.
Yeah, Mpact is where we got the Law and Public Safety Academy, and the Law Academy has been asking us to donate a vehicle, so they'll be able to train those students at Mpact on traffic and being able to do felony stops and all that stuff. And so we have I think it's a 2011 Crown Vic. It's one of our old K9 cars. We ain't been able to sell it or move it, so we're requesting to be able to donate it to Mpact so they'll be able to have a vehicle to train the students at the school with.
You got to jump it off the crank it.
Oh, I got it. It's running good, looking good. So I think they'll be very impressed, and hopefully once we get ready to make that donation, I will request that you all come out and we go over there. Since you all are donating, it's your vehicle, and come over when we do the donation so that you all will be there to give it to them.
That'll be next agenda.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank y'all.
Sheriff, before you sneak away, in the past couple of weeks, many of us watched the video of the school shooting in Nashville, how the law enforcement got in there in literally just a few minutes neutralize the threat. And I know I, for one, I mean, it was stunning to see their professionalism and their accuracy and their intensity. How you work under that level of pressure is something that I couldn't do and don't understand. But our sheriff's department, I just want to brag on our sheriff for a minute, does that type of training for our law enforcement, has a school building that they utilize for active shooter training. We've got the best of the best when it comes to training in the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office. And recently, another law enforcement agency reached out and asked to utilize that for their active shooter training, and you set that up with them and allowed them to do that. And that chief reached out to me and was so grateful for being able to work with you and utilize that facility that we have. So not just that active shooter facility, but the firing range and the simulator opportunities that your staff has. We're trying to be the very best, and we appreciate you go the extra mile. And we also saw and grieve alongside of you with what happened to your brother in Huntsville. The one that was killed, the officer that was killed in the ambush, and his colleague who is still hospitalized. So thank you for what you do. I know we talk about money, and sometimes it's lighthearted, and we realize the gravity of what you do every day, and I personally appreciate it so much, your professionalism and your heart.
Well, I appreciate that, Commissioner, and I know leadership Montgomery is here, and they've been out and they saw the simulators, and they know exactly what you're talking about. But this is something that we in law enforcement, we gotta continuously train on. Before that even happened, I had already had a conversation with Commissioner Singleton about the old school down in Raymer.
I was gonna bring that up. I'm glad you did, because Florence, we need to contact MPS about using that abandoned building down in Raymer. We've been using the Montgomery County Activity
Yeah,
Center.
but it's starting to get more and more classes, and it's kind of difficult for us to be able to schedule in between all their stuff they got going. So I had already talked with him about getting that building, and we're not only just doing it for us, but I've already had contact with the state and with APOS and some of them about the opportunity for us to be able to expand what we're doing, because you all seen it firsthand, what we're going through. That same camera system they got, same camera system that we use.
Yep.
So
Yep.
it's a great opportunity for us to at least now let people know you got to be able to get in there when your adrenaline's up.
That's right.
So you'll know how you're going to act when you get under pressure. So
Whatever we need to do to support this, you've certainly got my 100% support.
thank you. Thank y'all. Thank y'all very much.
District Attorney is here to speak about item number 4 as well as item number 6.
Marcia, you don't have to remind me, I only know of one item.
Right,
The legislation?
right, the legislation is item number 4, but we also have a proclamation designating April 23rd through 29th as Crime Victims' Rights Week, and it's something for them
Right,
to.
correct, okay, I'm sorry, I just forgot about that. Shouldn't have forgot about that, that's probably one of the most important things. Good morning. I try not to come before you guys very much, one, because I'm busy, and I know you guys are very busy, but this is a dire situation that I need to bring to your attention. If you watched WSFA last night, 6 o'clock, 10 o'clock news, you probably already know what I'm about to talk about, but we are really facing a dire shortage of prosecutors, and I'm just going to talk about Montgomery County, but it's really across the United States. I'm on the National District Attorney's Board, and we just met, and from Buffalo, New York to San Diego, California, they're facing problems of prosecutor shortages, and we're not immune to that. Right now, we are about to be down 4 prosecutors, and 5-10 years ago, been in the office 30 years, I would have had a stack of resumes and people to choose from, and I would always choose the best. But right now, I have 0 resumes, and that's been that way for a couple years now. We're just unable to fill these positions. You were kind to give us a violent crime position 2 years ago. We've never filled it. We just haven't been able to find the person. We've had to fill other positions just to cover the courtrooms, but we've not been able to fill that position. That position, unfortunately, is still vacant.
You're asking for legislation which would allow you to which would not require you to live in Montgomery County to be an assistant DA?
Yeah, so currently there's legislation on the books. It was passed in 1975. I don't know the exact reason. Ellen, who I've talked to, told me that it was probably a political move because you want the people in your office to be able to vote for you, that kind of thing. That's the only reason that she and I could come up with. It's just one thing that's hindering us. I can give you some examples. And first, let me say, and Dan, who's not here, him and I have had this conversation a lot of times. I prefer people in Montgomery County. 90% of the people who work in my office live in Montgomery County. So that's a preference of mine. But I think we are the only agency that I know of that requires its employees to, you guys don't even require your employees to live within Montgomery County. And it's because of this law. It's just a hindrance. An example would be, you know, I had an applicant recently who lived in Birmingham. They have a house, it's actually between Birmingham and Montgomery, it's a little closer. But his wife was a nurse, and he didn't want his wife to have to commute because she'd get off sometimes at midnight, and she made more money, quite frankly, than he did. But he wanted to work in our office. But we have this legislation that says you have to have a house, live here, and he couldn't afford to do that. We have people who have farms, like in Lowndes County, who are willing. Commissioner Walker has asked us to look into part-time people. We have some that are retired that don't live here in Montgomery that are willing to commute. We just can't do it. So what this legislation would do is just simply strike that piece that you're required. Obviously, I'm still going to prefer that you live in Montgomery County, but that's a
Daryl, I'm
hindrance.
going to ask if anybody has any questions. I think everybody kind of understands. Is there any questions for the district
No, we've
attorney?
asked you, we understand the dire situation y'all are in, and we talk a lot about the murder cases and how backlogged they are. I heard Kristen Bird speak earlier this week with Child Protect, and she said that those cases where those children have witnessed or experienced sexual or physical abuse, or they've seen, witnessed something, they are 3 to 4 years from going to trial. So those kids don't get that closure for 3 to 4 years. And we've told you, anything that you need, come to us, let's figure out a plan, and that will be helpful, and this is going to be helpful, so we need to do it.
And
That's
Commissioner
it.
Walker, we just lost our child abuse prosecutor, and I don't see us being able to fill that. The Attorney General keeps rating our employees. I've had tough conversations with Steve about that. I asked him not to do it, but he took her knowing that we were in a dire situation. He can pay a lot more,
Yeah.
and it's a lot less work. So, I mean, I understand why someone would want to advance, but it's really put us in a tremendous bind because those are just as important as these homicide cases.
Well, the people of Montgomery County are not experiencing swift justice as
Yeah.
they are promised. So thank you for
I
anything
will
we can do
comment,
to
though,
help.
that our judges are doing a good job. We just had 3 murder convictions just this week. That's a lot. Unfortunately, you see how many homicides we
The
had.
pace is picking
Yeah.
up, is what you're telling us.
I mean,
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
You know, we are not on the list with the state of Alabama to get another judge, unfortunately. That would help. I do have some conversations I'd like to loop you guys in on of creating a homicide docket in Montgomery County. I've talked to our judges, all but 2, and they seem to be in support of that. I think that will help, and I think I need y'all's support in, not monetarily, but just your support in pushing that to happen.
Ms.
Okay,
Bailey,
thank
I was just curious about what type of recruitment initiatives have you put into play?
Thank you for asking that. So I'm also president of the Alabama District Attorneys Association. So as an association, what I have done is we have established job fairs at all the law schools in Alabama. I've also on the committee for a national job fair, which we just did. That was not very successful. The job fairs that we did within the state were hugely successful. As a matter of fact, I had over 50 applicants at Faulkner, which is here in Montgomery, which is great because they live here. We're going to use the money that we're not spending on prosecutors right now and hire those individuals in the hopes that we can establish a pipeline. Unfortunately, most of those people that we're hiring are first-year law students. They can't help us really in the courtroom, but just to get them in the office and get them acclimated and get them to like prosecution, that's just something that we're trying.
And you are open to part-time?
We're open to, well, I don't want to say we're open to anyone.
I just
warm
wanted to,
bodies.
I wanted to
yes,
see if I could
yes.
help somewhat.
Yeah.
I guess you reach out to all the organizations like Montgomery County Bar Association, all those?
Oh, yeah, yeah. We're doing, as a matter of fact, I just signed up. I paid $300 to be on a job search thing for the law schools. It's called Simplicity. So now we're advertised in all the law schools in the Southeast. We're doing everything that we can to try to get it, but it's, it's happening. It's not hit the rural jurisdictions yet, but, you're talking Baldwin County. They're having a really big shortage in Baldwin County. I mean, cost of living there is a lot higher than it is here. That's part of their problem, but.
Okay, thank you.
And then the second thing was the proclamation.
That'll be next agenda. Okay.
The second thing, and that does need to be advertised, but I assume we'll get that taken care of.
Well, yeah, let's not assume. Who's taking care of that?
Cassandra, you're leading that charge. Blue Flyer.
Okay.
And we'll make this a top priority to get this through.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That's just one thing that will help. The second item
Wait a minute,
was.
can I?
Oh, yeah, sure. go
Would
ahead.
you want to consider waiving rules on that so we could begin the advertisement?
I believe
It's
so.
April, y'all.
Yeah,
It's April.
It will certainly
So
help.
the answer is yes.
yes, let's get that on there. So that would, is anybody, any objection to waiving rules on the proposed legislation?
No objection from me.
So we'll make that a waiver item.
Then the,
Item,
Yeah, the second one is Crime Victims Week, which is established as a national recognition of Crime Victims Week. We do have a proclamation for you to consider and decide. What we would like to do is, I think, may have already established, maybe Commissioner Harris, I can't remember, is going to read that proclamation at our Crime Victims Vigil that's coming. He's looking at me surprised, so maybe not.
Oh, I am?
Oh, but somebody has been in touch with one of you. Is going to read that at our Crime Victims Vigil, which is coming up 3 weeks from today, I believe. And that's where we recognize victims of crime, especially homicide. I would invite every one of you to come and be at that. And
We'll
I'll
have
give
the
you,
resolution for you on that. Next meeting, we'll have the resolution.
thank you.
So
Can I
that would
add-
be, any questions about that one? That'll be next agenda.
Can I answer any other questions? Thank you.
We're good. Thanks, Dan.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Carmen Douglas is here to discuss item number 7. It's an unbudgeted position fill request for the Personnel Department.
Good morning. Recently, one of our senior analysts that had been with us for over 25 years retired. He retired the end of February. From there, we were able to promote one of our analysts to the senior analyst position. And being that Mark, who had retired, had been with us for over 25 years, and prior to that, he did the same type of work with the state of Alabama as an analyst. He had a lot of experience doing that type of work. The main function of a senior analyst are to conduct the assessment centers. Because he had done that type of work for so long, he could also do the assessment centers, and he could do the other jobs that we have that are on a continuous basis, some of the jobs that do not require that in-depth of analysis, I'm going to say. But being that we have someone new in place, he is going to have to focus on the assessment centers, which is the main purpose of that job. We are in need, at any given time, we have 60 jobs that are open, not including the number of positions that we have. So we have multiple vacancies to fill, 60 jobs on average open at any time. So what we really need at this point is our entry-level professional position, which is a personnel associate. We have people internally that are very familiar with our job app systems and what we do. So we would be able to fill it internally. And the number one thing that I think you all want to hear is that it will have no impact on my budget, because Mark had been here so long, and the salary that he made and the cost savings from that salary, and the time of year that we're filling the position and everything, it will not have an impact on our salaries budget. So I'm not asking for any more money. But it is a crucial position that we need to have filled so we can get these vacancies.
Carmen, it says this is an entry-level position?
It is.
And the pay range, is 46,000 to 68,000, but they're starting at 64. Is that common that they start so far up the?
No.
That's with the benefits. Okay, that's what, I wanted to clarify that, okay. If I saw it, would come.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, I think the starting is more like 42.
Yeah, okay. I just thought it caught my eye when I saw it.
Yeah.
Carmen, you said 60 vacancies. Is that in city county personnel at any given time?
Yes, sir.
You have that many
Yes, sir.
vacancies?
That's not, let me clarify. That's the individual jobs, okay? But a job can have multiple vacancies. So we have more than 60 vacancies.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So it's been a struggle. And next year, I'm trying to hold on as long as I can to one of my other senior analysts. A couple of years ago, several of them have told me their plans to retire, because I have another one that actually has in excess of 25 years. So I'm trying to hold on to him a little while longer. But it's something that we're all going to experience just because of the setup of our work environments. A lot of people who have been here for tenured time are getting ready to retire. So I highly encourage some succession planning within your organization.
Personnel administration is kind of, specialized, You got a pipeline at any of the universities?
We do, but we don't, and I'll explain that to you. The assessment center part of it is a little different that we do. I have been very fortunate, especially with the analysts that we do have in place. Robbie and Kayla just last month, they taught at a state association for training on assessment centers. Most organizations contract that out. It's very expensive, where we do it internally. We do not, we have trained people internally that conduct it's part technical, part art. The creation of the assessment centers is a lot of art to it, but the technical aspects of it is very statistical. So it's not as easy as some people might think it is.
I don't think it's easy.
So, Carmen, just so I make sure I understand, the person that retired, his salary was equal to the two people replacing him combined?
It's not okay. The person that retired had been here in excess of 25 years. So we were able to promote somebody from within for his position.
Okay.
So they started at step one of the salary, where he was at near the end of the salary. At this time, we're not filling his position, which he left from, which is a mid-level position. And then the entry-level position, we're going to fill from within. I have actually a couple of people in the office that will qualify for it, and we're going to fill it from within, promotional, once it's approved.
So at the end of the day, it's not any effect to your budget?
It's no effect to the budget, none.
All right. Anybody have any other questions? The next agenda.
Thank you.
Cheryl Johnson with Leadership Montgomery has a presentation to make.
Good morning. How are you doing today? Good morning. Thank you for this opportunity to join you. I have with me Princess Cuthrell. Here she is. She is currently in Legacy Class 39, and I also have other members of Class 39, if you'll indulge me to ask them to stand and be recognized. Call me back.
this year's class, right?
That's the current legacy class, so I appreciate all them, and some standing in the back, Cauthen's back there, so thank you very much. We appreciate the support of the Montgomery County Council and monetary support for our organization, but also each of you, except Ms. Carmen Douglas, that may be there coming up in this next class with us, but I know, Doug, you were in class 37, and Isaiah, you were in class 17.
18.
Rhonda,
Yo,
18.
man.
You were 18, that's right. 18. Rhonda was in my class 33, and Dan Harris was in class 30.
Best class ever.
Best class ever, so.
Now, Carmen, did she contact you yesterday? I gave you her phone number.
She is very communicative, and I'm sure will be reaching out very soon to me.
And we've got a
She's
couple
very
more.
interested in being in the class. And
Kendall
also-
needs to go through Leadership Montgomery, and now Ken Ward, have you been through Leadership Montgomery?
Best class. How
We've,
about
we've got
and
you
I
a
go there?
pipeline.
All right, well,
And we'll show them
we're
what
going
kind
to
of
be
class we
standing
can
at the
do.
door taking up applications to leave. But today we're here because the county is so very supportive of us, and also our Sheriff Cunningham. They host our class days, they provide officers that do so much for us, and we were there to have a public service day and see the jail from the inside able to leave, which is a much more preferable way to see the jail, and they just do so much for us. So I've asked Princess to make a presentation for us, and if we could ask Sheriff Cunningham if you would come down. And Sheriff Cunningham was in class 17. And we have, best class, we have Regina Walker, who's alumni, Sharon Rose is alumni.
Why not
Michael
everybody stand
Riddell's
up if you've
alumni,
been through
so we've got
Leadership
a number.
Montgomery? Stand up if you've
All
participated in
alumni.
Leadership Montgomery. Graduated Leadership
Graduated.
Montgomery.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So good morning, sir. On behalf of Legacy Class 39, we would like to say, first of all, thank you for your sacrifice, your service, and your commitment, you and your team, to the citizens of Montgomery County. We definitely appreciate all that you do for us. And then for your support to Leadership Montgomery, continued support, offering the class days, sacrificing your time to make sure that we as leaders of this county have an understanding of what we can do to add value with your covering and all the services that you offer. So from the team, we have this token of our appreciation, and it says, with our greatest appreciation, we present Montgomery County Sheriff's Office with this award in recognition of your dedication and support for Leadership Montgomery and the Montgomery community, February 16th, 2023, connecting leaders to affect change. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Can we indulge the commission to take a photo with our class? And any alumni that would like to join us with the county commission?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
We'll
All right,
stand
if
up
you're a
back
member of
here,
the
y'all line
class,
up.
if you'll come forward, and any alumni that would like to come be part of this presentation, we welcome you.
Yeah, they coming too.
What about this in the back?
Oh, they're coming out.
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
This is the middle.
Where's our photographer? That gives us, look like an expensive one.
You got turned sideways, like a beauty pageant, look like Sheriff Cunningham does, turned sideways.
Thank you all for being here.
Before we hear from Terry Reynolds, one item number 6, is a resolution approving the 2023 back-to-school sales tax holiday, July 21 through 23.
That's number 5, but any discussion on number 5, back to school tax, sales tax? We've done that in the past. The next agenda.
Terry?
Good morning.
Morning, Terry. Ms. Reynolds, I'm sorry.
I'm here today in follow-up to the meeting that the county had in collaboration with the city on Thursday, March the 30th, to just give some context to the next steps. We will be working to try and get as many of the funds obligated as possible, which means over the course of the next few weeks, you all will be getting a series of resolutions from the Levitate team to review along with the city to try and get this money obligated in a pipeline. As you saw from the presentation on Thursday, a number of these larger programs that have been in the works for the last few weeks and months are at a place where we're very close to entering into subrecipient agreements. And so we'll be working with them over the course of the next few weeks to get those finalized and subrecipient agreements in place. So the next week or so, we'll be working with the staff here, the attorney here, the staff at the city and the attorney at the city to make sure that we're moving those funds to the right places and doing it in the most efficient manner possible. So we really wanted to come to you and give you that heads up of what's coming down the pipeline. If we're on track, your first series of resolutions to vote on would come up at the May 2nd meeting. So we would have those to you at your next meeting for review, a vote on May 2nd. One thing that we would like to do is schedule office hours. So after this meeting, I'll be circulating a link to you all. So if you have questions about what was presented on Thursday, a deeper dive, we want to make sure you have all the answers that you need. If there are subrecipients or potential contractors that you have further questions from, we would be happy to set that up. But we really just are here today to give you a sense of what's coming. Our role will come to an end at the end of August. And so we really want to make sure that the city and the county are in a position to launch these programs effectively before our time is up with you guys.
So that will include a resolution regarding the community center.
Yes, so Commissioner.
For the Southwest.
Commissioner Harris, you've requested that. I will get that resolution to you to share with your colleagues, absolutely.
And the critical home repair as well. I don't know why we don't have that. We should
No,
have voted
that-
on that already.
Well, so we have to work through the details. All right, so that is in negotiation. I'm happy to keep you posted on that. So you saw their presentation.
Yes.
So in the contract, the subrecipient agreement with them, what we're working through now are KPIs. So we want to have some key performance indicators that are in that contract so you all can feel confident that they're meeting the benchmarks that they told you they would meet. We want to have timelines. We want to have estimates. We also believe that we may be able to add that septic repair and replacement program, house that in the critical home repair program, which would be great because that means that citizens will have access to that sooner. So those are the sorts of details that we're working through so that will be in that subrecipient agreement. I have something else that I know will matter to you, Commissioner Sankey, and to everyone. We did get the mapping back, so several of you who have sewer issues in your districts and who have some stormwater drainage issues, you all met with the engineering firm that was the top vendor to draw out those maps so that we're very clear on where their services will lie. They sent those maps back to us last night. I would like to share those with you all so you can see them. Those will be attached to the contract. They will be attached to the MOU between the city, the county, and Montgomery Water and Sewer. So also just wanted to let you know that the delay, we were waiting for those maps, but we do have those now.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir, please.
I sent you something from, I believe, Charleston, South Carolina on critical home repairs, what they had done with their ARPA fund, and manufactured homes were included in that. I want to be sure that we get some manufactured, well, there's no exclusion of manufactured homes in our critical home repair program. And perhaps, well, I don't know how many, I know Commissioner Ziegler perhaps have some concern because quite a few of her constituents are in manufactured homes as well.
So noted, and we'll talk with the top vendor about that and pull you guys into that discussion if we need to.
Thank you.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Well, thank you, Terry.
Thank you.
As long as we still got 2 left on there.
Right, we have upcoming vacancies on the Montgomery Area Mental Health Authority, and the Montgomery City County Library, as well as a vacancy on the Personnel Board.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, whose appointment is on the mental health? Is that
I was gonna,
you, okay?
I made the last one, and for some reason, he was removed. I can find another one. I understand we got a piece of legislation being considered.
Okay.
It's gonna be kind of tough getting somebody to commit to go on with that pending. Let's see how that comes out.
And I want to have the privilege of submitting some resumes.
Oh,
too,
mental health.
Mr. Chairman.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Definitely.
I thought, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
look,
Yeah, well, definitely, let's,
It's the person that's already on, she doesn't want to be reappointed.
Yolanda, Tyree,
She doesn't want to be reappointed.
Rhonda, that was your appointment.
She doesn't, Rhonda, does she want to be reappointed?
I thought you were saying she does not.
No, I'm asking, does she want to be reappointed?
I'll talk to her.
Yeah, okay, yeah, talk to her. And
Yes.
then we'll be open to some other resumes too, so.
And I have a question, Mr. Chairman, regarding that. We were talking about publishing these various board positions on the website, and I was just curious as to whether or not we're making any progress on that so that the citizens can know.
They are all on the website, and there is an application form that they can complete and return to us.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ken.
Tammy and Ken did a great job of pulling all that information together and getting it on the website.
Thank you, Tammy. Thank you, Ken. The city county, did we do that one yet?
The Public Library Board, there are two positions that expire, terms expire June 1st.
I know the person, Patina Moss, reached out to me. I think Chairman Dean is the one who put her on there. And she reached out to me to let me know that she would like to stay on the board.
So Ms. Moss wants to stay on the
She
board?
wants to stay on the board, yes.
How about Mr. Trimble? I do not know Mr. Trimble. I've heard his name, but I don't know him.
We live in the same district. I'll speak with
Will you
him.
speak with him? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, you want to speak to him, and we'll put that one on the next agenda, Florence, pending that Vice Chairman Sankey does confirm with Mr. Trimble he wants to remain on the board. And if not, we could at least approve Ms. Moss if she wants to be on it.
Okay.
You can make it out, let me know.
Florence, you got anything else?
That's all.
We've got about 10 minutes. Do you want us to go ahead and, I think the sheriff's got a presentation. We can go ahead and do that now. So that way these guys and gals can get back to work. Is that okay with everybody?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay, Sheriff, Sheriff Cunningham, you want to go ahead and do your presentation now so they can?
This morning, we wanted to recognize some of our personnel that graduated from the National Command College. It's we signed up to an online university.
Y'all come on down,
where they
please.
can get credit, and I mean it's a outstanding leadership college for your deputies that are coming up to rank and file. I've attended it, and I know Chief will be going next month. Him and several others will be down there for a little while. But these are online courses that they did, and they sent them their certificates, and they also got a challenge coin as well, showing that their dedication to service. But this is something that it takes a lot of dedication to be able to sit at a computer to take these classes. These are college-level classes now. These are not just something that you just check the box. They make you do some studying, and you're going to have to pay attention and turn in some stuff to them to be able to get this recognition. So we want to at least recognize them for their dedication and their willingness to better themselves. So we brought them down to you all, and hopefully after we give them all their certificates and their challenge coins, we'll take a picture with you all. You want to, Mercer, you can throw them out.
Sorry?
What's the program again?
Program.
It's the Credible Leadership Program. It's Command and Staff College. The sheriff had been looking for some time for some leadership development and critical thinking, and he met Dr. Mitch Javidi at the National Sheriff's Association, and we built this program with him. It's phenomenal.
Excellent.
Okay. Our first graduate is Sergeant Anthony Boykin. Front and center, Anthony. Okay, our second graduate is Sergeant Jeff Davis. Our next graduate is Corporal Tashana Freeman. Our next graduate is Lieutenant Kirk Harbin, and I should note that Lieutenant Harbin is also in the graduate program at Faulkner and should be graduating soon from that.
Wow.
Our next graduate is Deputy Leslie Harrell. Our next graduate is Lieutenant Juan Jerry. Our next graduate is Corporal Greg Johnston. Our next graduate is Corporal Maxwell Madrid. And our final graduate is Lieutenant Rick Thompson.
Thank y'all for investing in, not only in yourself, but investing in Montgomery County. You're the best of the best.
Let's give
very
them
proud of you.
another round
Really.
of applause.
They make us so proud. We've got about 5 minutes. We're going to start promptly at 10 o'clock with the formal session, so we'll recess until then, and we'll be back in 5 minutes.